Hi and welcome. I am Dr. Hughes, a teacher sharing with you the lessons I've learned through experience and research. Something vital, but often not really thought about or explicitly taught, is knowing yourself. Research shows that teachers who understand their strengths lead to increased student outcomes. We also need to be aware of our own beliefs, expectations, and prejudices. Anyone who comes into our classroom deserves to be taught without judgment or quick anger or frustration from us. They need us to be calm and focused, especially when they aren't. A highly impactful practice is to reflect. And it's important to constantly reflect as a teacher, not just on data and what it may mean, but on you, your actions, your thoughts, your triggers, your stress levels, and so on. I will be the first to admit that sometimes when I try a new activity, its failure is because I didn't provide enough scaffolding, because I thought it was going smoothly, or I thought it was going smoothly enough that I could answer an email that had been eating away at me in the background. That's on me. Some strategies truly just don't work for your content or your students that year. But reflection on a lesson cannot only be reflecting on student actions and their performance. You must reflect on your own actions and performance too. I loved the way one research study by Harrison, King, and Wang, published in 2023, described how person-centered teacher behaviors, the building of positive relationships, the guidance of teachers rather than their direction, which they stated as non-directivity, and the teacher's empathy and warmth. All these things support student achievement. In that same study, they write, quote, "The regard teachers have for their students, their responsiveness to students' questions and interest, and the emotional climate of the classroom have all been associated with student achievement," end quote. Also, I feel I must mention this, especially in today's climate. You are allowed to have your own thoughts and your own opinions, but as a teacher, you are not allowed to share those in the classroom. When my students ask, I honestly tell them I can't share that, but they're welcome to guess, which I will neither confirm nor deny. I hope my personal beliefs shine through, but they don't need to know them. Students have to form their own opinions in a world full of others, and they don't need me to add to the chaos. A school should be a safe harbor from the demands of the world, a place where it's okay to try and fail as long as you learn from the experience. It should be a place to safely explore different activities and learning avenues. A few years ago, I presented on this topic, and though I was hesitant because the majority of the presentation required vulnerability from me and the participants, it actually turned into a great session. I shared about how my weakness is that I'm lazy, and I turned that into a strength by always finding the more efficient ways of doing things. I shared how I had to be brutally honest with myself and look at things as they are and not how I thought they should be. Some of the participants in the session engaged and shared what they believe their weaknesses to be, and we ended up workshopping as a group on how to turn those weaknesses into strengths. And it was a lot of fun. Those that shared commented after that they felt better prepared going into next year. I say this as a testament to the importance of reflecting on yourself. Before you walk into a classroom, know yourself. Recognize your strengths and your weaknesses. Acknowledge the triggers for anxiety and anger and frustration and have a plan in place to address those. Create or plan moments throughout the year to relieve your stress and commit to not canceling those plans. I personally like to hike or read, depending on what I've got time for. Also, continue reflecting on yourself throughout the year in the classroom. You might be surprised what you learn. And that brings us to the end of our video. I hope this proved helpful to you or to someone that you know. At the very least, I hope it proved informative and entertaining. If there are any topics that you would like a video on or to know more about, please let me know at bit.ly/what2explore. Additionally, there's not a production schedule currently as I'm still teaching and doing other projects also. So if you would, please just tap the subscribe and the little bell to get notified on when new videos and resources are posted. Thank you for joining me here today. Keep learning, keep growing, and have fun. You got this.